Take two.
Take two. We don't often do a take two.
Greetings and salutations.
Salutations. That's exactly word for word.
Literally what we just said.
Yeah.
So we stopped after like 50 seconds because the video looks kind of weird, but I think we're good. So
Looks weird
welcome
on our end. I'm sure it's
to
fine on your end.
Welcome to Needles at the Ready. I'm Kevin.
I'm Ray.
Today is March 22nd, 2025. This is episode 131 of our YouTube channel podcast, whatever you like to call it, where we talk about knitting, spinning, crocheting, yarn buying, and all the stuff that goes along with that.
Yes, we are coming to you a week early, but also a week late.
And welcome back to any returning viewers, and welcome to any new viewers.
Lovely to see you.
Yes, it's going to be chatty. There's actually quite a bit to show. It's later in the day than we normally start, and we're both just a teeny bit under the weather. So this is just going to be grand.
Yeah, we're really excited to sit down and share with you all of the things that we've worked on over the past couple of weeks, and to talk to you about our amazing trip to Nashville, Tennessee, where we had a really nice extended weekend with some friends, and we got a chance to visit the Nash Fest, the very first one in Nashville. So we'll talk about that at the end of the podcast. This way, people who are not interested can hang around to see what we've been working on, all of our knitting and crochet projects. And then for those that want to hear about our trip in explicit detail, you can wait till the end of the podcast, which will probably be 3 hours from now. And we also have some amazing prizes. We're going to do a little bit of a Nash Fest FOMO giveaway.
Yes. So before we jump into the knitting, we'll cover admin stuff. Do we have any other?
So let's see. So the admin stuff, we wrapped up
The Socks for Sam thing.
Socks for Sam. Yep, we drew winners and sent out the prize there.
Yeah.
We for those who haven't been following along, we were prize donors for the New to You Mal put on by Cocktail Hour at the Coop. We have
chosen that winner and
sent out those prizes, which was great. So we still have From a Book Mal going on right now, which I have a new project that I started that I will show you as part of that make along, and also because I love it.
I haven't worked on mine.
That's okay. I'm gonna frog my first one.
I might frog it and start it over.
Oh, okay.
I just made a bunch of mistakes. My count's off and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. And then, let's see, what else? I think that's really... Are those the admin things?
I think so.
We don't have any official knit-alongs going on.
No,
right?
Typically we do, but we're not doing it right now. Yeah. So we'll have to talk about it later. And just for those of you who are new or don't know about it, the From You book... Nope, not From You. That's because the face of your shape is so good.
The face of your shape. Yeah, who said that? Was that
me?
You? Yeah.
The From a Book Mal we're co-hosting it with Michael over at Piece for Piece Crafting here on YouTube, and Chip and Aaron from Fiber Hustle also here on YouTube. The idea of it is that we have all these knitting books with a bunch of patterns and we don't use them, so just get one of your periodicals and make something from it.
That's it.
And there's no prizes. You could use the hashtag From a Book Mal, I believe.
Okay. And
yeah, that's about all there is to it.
Michael does have a Ravelry post thread on his Ravelry group. I think it's Piece for Piece Craft or Piece for Piece Crafting over on Ravelry. We'll see if we can link that down below. If you want to have some chatter and chit chat and share your projects and things like that. But it's very, very low key. There's no end date. It's just an excuse to knit something out of, or crochet something, or sew something out of any books and things that you have. Carrie from Creative Obsession, she actually did a
table runner
from one of the books. That qualifies. Not that you're qualifying for prizes, but you're qualifying for a good time.
Yes.
Please do not ask any additional questions. It's pretty simple. Do whatever you want. Again,
just from a publication. What else?
Printed
that's
materials.
That. And then, other than Nash, what else has been going on for the past 3 weeks now?
Well, let's see. The day after the podcast, my mom came over. Yeah. We kind of hung out. I'll show you one of the projects. We had some we have some big plans, but I don't think
I think when you
they're
say
going to come to fruition. Me and my mom had some big plans.
You and your mother did, and now it's you have some big plans.
Yeah, but I also need to be realistic.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. But we'll talk about it when I show my whips.
Okay.
Let's see, what else?
So with my 3 weeks has been a little bit like not off kilter. It's just been a little bit busier than normal. My mother's husband passed away 3 weeks ago, so I've been spending a lot of time with my mom, just getting things organized, helping her with her running around because she does not drive. Just spending time with her and being there for her when she calls or she needs somebody for help or whatever. So that's taken up a good portion of my last 3 weeks, I guess. So that had happened.
Yep. Let's see what else. And that was, it was unexpected. Yeah, and it's sad for your mom.
Yeah,
she's really struggling.
It's definitely an adjustment. Like I said, because she doesn't drive, and he took care of like paying all the bills and things like that. So just really also trying to find ways to help her get set up to be a little more self-sufficient.
Yeah.
So that's that happened.
We went to our friend Moogie's house.
Yes, we went to our friend Moogie's house.
Yeah, it's not her. I mean, that's what we call her. That's not her. And we typically will do like a game night every few months or so. I think it's kind of been working out, though I wish it could be a lot more. We had an absolute blast. Absolute blast. We played this game. I wish I knew the name of it.
I know, I don't.
It's like it's all over like my TikTok at least because I think it's really hysterical. You get a card, and on the card is like a phrase that's kind of like jumbly and it's really phonetic. So it's kind of spelled out in a certain way that you have to try to sound it out and get the people to. Or the people are trying to sound out what it is, and they're trying to guess what the actual phrase or word is or whatnot. But it was hysterical.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we had a really good time.
A ton.
Mm-hmm. We had some really good food. Yeah, and that was that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So one of the days I did have my mom come over and we hung out for a bit, and I didn't know what
she crossed over.
I didn't know what to throw on the telly.
Yeah.
So I threw on knitting podcast, and I don't know, we were watching we watched a bunch. We watched Modern Skein, we watched Happy Little Yarn, we watched Dynamite
Knits.
Little Dynamite Knits. And we were watching one of them. I don't remember. I want to say, was it really Modern Skein? And they were talking about all their projects. My mom was like, how many projects do they need? I was like, Mom, I have 20. She looked at me. She's like, why? I was like, because.
Yeah.
That's it. So it was really funny to see somebody who's not in the world watching a podcast and reacting to it. Mm-hmm. And she was very surprised that a lot of people knit socks.
Yeah. It's the best thing to know.
So yeah, so I think that's pretty much really what we've done.
Yeah, and then Nashville,
which
and we will talk about a lot. We'll talk about that. It was a really great time
later.
Yeah.
All right, so let's jump into some knitting. I have 2 FOs and I have 3 whips.
Wow, we're almost the same. I have 2 FOs and I think 4 whips.
Okay, why don't you go first?
Okay, let's start with these guys. I finished my March socks. This is from the Yarn Club, February 2025, from Woolens and Nosh. It's her superwash Targhee fingering base, 90% superwash Targhee, and 10% nylon. The colorway is Adrift on an Inland Sea. There's the yarn tag. And here are my finished socks.
They're so good.
Aren't they so good?
I love that colorway. I love that you did the bullseye heel too.
Me too. So here is what I have left. This is still left over from the main skein. And this is still left over from the mini. So they're about the same. I would say about 20 grams or so, 15 to 20 grams, which is still a significant amount. So I used the mini for the cuff and for the toe. And then the heel, what I really love about this, and I think I mentioned it before, when Michelle sneaks in that single smaller stripe, I love that look.
Yeah.
And because I started with the stripe here, I wanted to kind of cut in the stripe. I wanted to bring the stripe down here as well. And I probably could have brought up the heel a little bit more. But I wanted to split that light color there with the heel. But I think it's so fun.
I think that's one of the fun things about knitting self-striping socks. Number one, sometimes they just kind of knit themselves because you want to get to the next color.
You want to get to the next color.
But it's also planning out, if you're doing an afterthought, it's also planning out where you want your heel to be. Sometimes it's in the middle of a color stripe. If like, this would have looked really good in the middle because you would have that really high contrast.
Yes.
So it's picking where you're going to put your heel.
Yeah.
But also keeping in mind where you want to put your toe. You have all of those elements that you do get to think about where, and I don't know, I've only knit 2 pairs, I think, of like pattern socks. With a pattern sock, you're following the pattern. So it kind of just decides that for you. So that's one of the fun things. And with the bullseye heel, it just gives you that effect because you're using self-striping. Yeah. So it just...
You're not doing anything different. You're just using the self-striping yarn. So, and to Kevin's point, we say afterthought heel, but a true afterthought heel is that you knit a tube and then you measure out where you want it and then you decide, then that's where you put your heel. This is more like a forethought heel. If you look up forethought heels, it's kind of already pre-planned. So like you're knitting... 7 inches, whatever it is, you plan to put your heel there or in between the stripes. So when we say afterthought heel, we're using it interchangeably, but just in case you're confused. So with these socks, I did about 15 or so rows of, I think it's 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, 15 rows of the contrast color in a 2x2 rib. I do a German twisted cast on. And then I do 72 stitches. For my toe, I talk about this all the time, but this is on you can find the information on my Ravelry page, exactly what I've done for all of my socks, which my toe and my heel recipe is basically the exact same thing. So the toe, I do a decrease row, so I knit 1 SSK, knit to the last 3 stitches. You can use double points. I use magic loop because it makes it easier. Knit 2 together, knit 1, and then do the same on the second needle. And then knit a row. So then you alternate those 2 rows until I get down to 20 stitches. And then I do a decrease round every row. For my toe is down until 14 stitches, and then I Kitchener. And then for my heel, for these socks, I actually only knit 2 additional rounds before I started my decreases. And then I decrease down again to 20 stitches on each needle. And then from there, I do 2 more rounds of decreases, so I get down to 16 stitches. And then I Kitchener there just because my heel's a little bit wider. And they fit very well. So I don't see a huge difference. Usually I do 5 rounds of straight knitting in the heel, but I didn't see a big difference between the 2 rounds and then the 5. So 3 additional rounds, I don't know if that made a huge difference for me. Absolutely love these. What?
I was going to say, I know I've gone down to 3 on, I think...
3 extra rounds?
No, yeah, instead of the 5. Yeah. And it still fits really well.
Yeah. So I think that's really that. And then when I cut in, when I pick up my stitches and cut my heel, I pick out all of the stitches until the last 2 stitches on each side. So it helps with, so you don't have any holes in the side there. See where I split it here? And you don't have the holes that you would likely get if you were to cut out the yarn to all of the stitches.
Yeah.
So that's that. I knit these on 9-inch circular needles. Oh yes, it's back. 9-inch circular needles.
It came back in a big way.
It sure did. It came back in a big way. We love the large 9-inch circular needles.
No, I met last week.
I know. We'll share all of them. Okay.
That's enough.
So, I knit these on 9-inch circular needles. We'll talk about some 9-inch circular needles in a little while when we talk about Nashville, because I took 9-inch circular needles to a really big venue.
It wasn't a venue.
It was in public.
That wasn't a venue.
And it was a very large microphone. That's what she said. So yeah, these are my socks. Super, super thrilled about how they came out.
Yeah, it's a really good colorway.
Yep. And so I am 3 for 3 now this year so far. I wanted to knit a pair in every month, so I knit January, February, and March so far. And I just need to now pick out a skein for what comes next. April.
Yeah.
Holy cow. I can't keep up. Although I'm loving the warmer weather.
Although, too, like, I've looked at our Woolens and Nosh stash, and there's not as many as I thought that we had. Well, I actually do not believe that we have enough Woolens and Nosh to make it through a full year for both of us.
Sure we do.
No. I don't think
Because we're getting a new one every other week.
Not every other week.
What's this? Maybe this will be my next one. These are nice.
Yeah. What color? What's that?
Ooh, these are really nice. This is the November 2024 colorway. Cardophile. I'll do this next.
Okay.
Beauteous. Chosen. You are the chosen one.
Yeah,
We have plenty.
I know that we have.
Because we're each going to do 6 of our pairs of socks are going to be from the subscription. Yeah. So we only need 6 additional skeins each.
So what's interesting is I have one, like, in these cubbies, I think I have one.
Your side is so much more organized than mine. Look at all the chaos. That's okay.
That's right.
That's fine.
That's okay.
1, 2...
Oh, I see 2 down there. Oh, those are ours. We should do these.
What?
Our colorway that we
dyed.
Oh
my gosh, you're absolutely right. We have 2 of them?
Yeah, there's one more right there.
Oh, we should definitely do them at the same time. Okay.
All right.
So yes.
We should do it in May. Those should be our May socks because that's when
it's gonna be May.
That's because when the car got stolen.
Yeah. Oh, your anniversary.
It'll be 2-year anniversary.
2 years. We've had that for 2 years.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Sold. Right. So our May socks. Don't let us do anything else. Those are our May socks.
Okay.
Do you know what the story? Do you want to tell the story?
If you don't know the story, in May 2023, when we went to Knit City, Montreal, my car was stolen at our Airbnb. It was thankfully recovered. It wasn't working, so it did get repaired slightly just to make it back to Connecticut, where we're coming to you from Montreal. And on our way home, we had plans to see Michelle from Woolens and Nosh. So we stopped by her studio. And
what a great experience that was.
And
she's got a great operation.
She does. And we dyed a custom colorway for us called...
And then my car got stolen. And then our car got stolen.
Yeah, and then our car got stolen. And this is it. And I know we did like a giveaway for it, and then we each kept a skein. Because I think we did like something like 6 to 8 skeins.
Yeah, we gave a bunch away. So we got to choose the colors.
Mixed
we
the
planned
dyes.
it all out.
Yeah, it was fun.
We did everything. We did that giant warp. That was really fun. Anywho, so that's in case you needed some background. That's the background.
So we'll do that in May.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll find some different contrasts. We each find a different contrasting color.
Okay. All right, so back to that, folks.
That.
All right, so my first one was a whip last time you saw it. It is spinning. This was a club that I get from Into the World. So this was the November 2024 club called Redundancy. It is 70% Shetland and 30% Tussah silk. And I'm actually going to redo my math because I think I've been calculating my yardage wrong. So we're going to do this a little bit better. We're going to do 306 times 28 divided by 36. So I got 238 yards. So a DK weight. Here's it in skein
It's so
form.
Good.
I like it too because it's darker. I feel like in some of the stuff I have been spinning, so it's a little darker, a little.
But
moodier.
The light bits are very contrasty, like when the light bits hit it and stuff.
So here we'll bring it up close so you can see some of the colors. So we have some purples, oranges, and grays mainly in here. I would say those are the 3 main colors of it.
Mm-hmm.
you got some burgundy, some blue, and this is what it looks like outside of skein form.
Yeah, it's so good.
So I think I did pretty well. This was a bit difficult to spin. So what I did with this one is I split my braid in half from top to bottom.
Yep.
Then I split one side into two and spun it from end to end. And then the other side I split into 8, I think. And then spun those end to end. And then I did a 2-ply. And I spin my singles S? No, I think Z.
This is where I check out. I have no idea.
Z clockwise and ply S counterclockwise. I believe that's how it goes. Let's see, what else can I say? So I think I mentioned this last time. It's not my favorite thing to spin. I did not.
Because of the silk.
The way that this silk, and I have one up there that I'm spinning to from Shirsty Cat. The way that this silk is blended into the fiber, there's bigger chunks of it, and it drafts differently, and it's very slick and slippery as silk is. So it can be a little bit, a little more difficult to like keep control of your spin.
It looks
at least
very
for me.
even. You did a really good job.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with it.
I love the I really love the colors.
I do too. I'm happy with the colors. I think I think it turned out well.
Yeah. It feels
I don't feel like it feels as soft as...
No, I was going to say it feels very rustic and like farmy.
Yeah, I think that's the Shetland in it.
Oh.
But yeah,
it's going to be super warm though.
So it was a nice spin. It wasn't my favorite spin.
Yeah. So maybe the silk gives it not necessarily softness, but more structure and strength, right?
Right. So silk is a very strong fiber, so that's why a lot of the times, even with socks, if you're using a fingering weight that has silk in it, that is going to give you the strength that you need, kind of like a nylon does.
Yeah.
It also gives it some shine. Here goes a less tighter skein. So yeah,
it's beautiful. It really is beautiful.
Thank
the
you.
colors are stunning.
Yeah, thank you. I enjoy. I do. I really like the colors in it. Mm-hmm. I need to. Yeah, I don't know, but that's that.
Yeah, I wonder how it's going to knit up. It looks really cool.
Just want to see. Oh, and this is 112 grams.
Oh, okay, great. So maybe it's slightly heavier than a DK, 112 grams at 238 yards.
So
So it's more like a heavy DK.
A hand spun.
Light worsted.
Maybe not, because a hand spun is much denser than a commercially spun yarn. Because you are the way that I spin, and I use a dataless starling. Her name is Trixie.
She's lovely.
And she's hunter green. Mm-hmm. She's downstairs currently. And I do a short forward draw. So it just means like where I hold my fiber, I draft pulling forward in short increments. Uh-huh. Most of the time you do that with the staple length of the fiber. So that's kind of how you determine how you want to draft. And once you draft, you bring your fingers back and you're smoothing out the yarn. So you're taking all the air out of it. Mm. So hand spun yarn tends to be denser than a commercially spun yarn. So that's why there's those, which I surprisingly don't have one around me, but I have a solution for that, which we'll talk about later. The the wraps per inch tool.
Yeah.
That gives you a better estimation on your gauge, because
you're looking at the individual
right, and if you do it in a couple places, because you're gonna have thick and thin spots, so I'm gonna say that's more DK-ish.
Yeah. I can't wait for you to talk about that one because that's one of my favorites.
Yeah. So that's my first FO.
Lovely. My second FO I finished. It is the Ringing Rocks shawl by Violet Loops. It is a Tunisian crochet shawl. Can you help me?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. No problem. So it's a really good size triangular shawl. And I really wanted to have this done for Nashville because I knew that the designer was going to be there. And I did, and she was, and it was lovely. We'll talk about that in a little bit later. But the yarns that I use, I chose the 3-color fade. There are options to do a single color. There's options to do a 2-color fade and a 3-color fade. So I opted for the 3-color fade. My first color was by the Moonlight Studio. So that's this color here. And the colorway is actually called Ray. It's 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon. I know I mentioned this before, but just in case you didn't know, I had won like an online giveaway thing where the dyer was gonna dye me up a custom colorway. Thank you. So this is color number 1, and then it fades into color number 2, which is, and this is what I have left of color number 1. I actually did not have enough of color 1 to finish the shawl, so I just added a little bit of color 3 to it because I think it looks really cool. Anyway, this is what I have left, this little nug. I didn't have enough to go back across. So color 2 is from Fangirl Fibers. I think we got this in Maryland at Frederick.
We got it at Yarn Centric.
This is the colorway Let the Wookiee Win. And this is also an 80-20 blend. From Fangirl Fibers. I think I had said that. So that is color number 2. So you fade into color number 2, which is this. It looks really cool, I think, crocheted up.
Yeah, it's a really pretty stitch.
And then that fades into color 3, which is this color here, which is my favorite one of all 3. And this is from Fiber Optic Yarns. I believe we probably got this in Rhinebeck.
We did.
A couple of years ago. Sedona. I believe Sedona is the colorway name. It's in their cashmere fingering. It is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. What's great about me putting this in the middle is that it's super soft along my neck. My only concern is with the cashmere if it starts to pill a little bit. But I wore this all day on Saturday in Nashville, and it's just, I think it's going to be one of my most worn shawls. So I'll show you the stitch up close again, but I want you to see all of the colors, how it faded. And this, I'm really, really happy because I was able to go like into my stash, deep stash, and pull 3 skeins of yarn out. And these are the leftovers that I have. So just about 20 grams, 24 grams each left over. So it'll be nice in a blanket or something like that.
I think we can always go in a stash. We just choose not to.
Right. But it was nice for me because I feel like it's been a while since I've done that. So here is the stitch. This is the lattice stitch. Tunisian crochet. I think it's a gorgeous, gorgeous stitch.
Yeah, it's really pretty. And so this is going to go...
it's a nice... It's a very drapey, but it's also very warm. And, like, it's thick and bouncy.
It has... Right? Even though you knit this, crochet this with fingering weight yarn, this, to me, feels more like a DK weight. Mm-hmm. Because crochet just uses up more yarn. So, just a bit denser. So, it definitely has a DK weight feel to it.
Yeah.
So this is I'm going to jump in a little bit. It's going to kind of be a little nasty just because we saw her there. But what was really cool when we went there at the booth, she also had a sweater with that same stitch pattern, which was beautiful.
I'll show you that.
And then there were 2 patterns that I saw and that I want to attempt.
Oh, you're going to try a Tunisian crochet? I love Tunisian crochet.
There were 2 patterns that I took pictures of. And I believe...
this is stunning. Stunning.
All right, so... And if I see this correctly, both are available in fingering and DK weight. The first one is called the Full Fade Cowl. And again, this is... her name is Jennifer Lovett.
Yes.
But she goes by Violet Loops. So here is the stitch pattern for the cowl.
Yeah, it's so good.
Right? It just looks really, really
so
cool.
Good.
Like seeing it in person was really nice. And then the second one that I saw that I thought was really pretty too, this is called Cordillera Infinity Scarf. And I believe this is also available in DK and fingering. The one that we saw there was a fingering weight one. And this looks like a knitted linen stitch. But I just thought it looked really nice. So I made sure I took screenshots so that I can grab those patterns. And now I need to figure out whether or not I want to do fingering or DK for them. Probably fingering because I have so much.
Yeah. This is the sweater that Kevin was talking about. This is the Tapestry Raglan. So it is exactly the same stitch, but in a raglan sweater form. It's actually very close to my color.
It is very similar to your middle one.
Yeah.
Would you ever consider crocheting a sweater?
I would consider it, but I don't think that I would be very good at it. It makes me nervous because I still struggle a little bit with understanding knitted sweaters. Like I'm sure the pattern is probably written really well, but I'm not very good at the like understanding where and how to customize things and like change up a raglan.
Yeah.
So I would love to take a class on that. I know that there were a couple of classes offered recently somewhere, wherever we were.
Vogue.
Was it at Vogue? Yeah. Probably. Like how to customize a raglan.
Hohi, Locatelli.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mari just took it with her. At,
maybe that's where I heard about
it
from.
At a Vogue event in somewhere in Colorado.
Mari was talking about it. Yep. That's exactly where I got it from. So this is Jen wearing her tapestry sweater. So Violet Loops, follow her on Instagram for sure. She was lovely to meet.
Yes.
But yeah, Tunisian crochet. I feel like it's opening up a whole new world for me. So that's it. Those are my 2 finished objects.
Okay.
Since we've last spoken.
I have one more finished object. This is also a spin, and this I spun incredibly fast. It was again, like I said, the last 3 weeks have been a bit different for me, so I didn't have a lot of energy to knit. I didn't have it in me, so I did a lot of spinning. And I spun this fiber that I picked up from Shirsty Cat. It is Shirsty Cat Designs. Here is her label. This is 100% a Polworth. And I don't believe it has a colorway, but it is called POL 24145. So I feel like that means it was dyed in May 2024. But that's how I read it.
Okay.
Because I think I got it at Connecticut Sheep and Wool last
You might have.
year. I feel like that's when I got it. And here's what I have. This is one of my faves.
It's great. It's one of my favorites as well. This scream is my name.
It's got all the blues and grays, and there was spinning it, and this is what I need to get better at, and I did just yesterday. Is I need to get better at taking a picture of the braid before I start spinning it, so that you can see what it actually looks like prior to the spin.
Good idea.
So this has a lot of gray, white, teal, and blue in it. And when I split this, I again undid the braid and I split it in half from top to bottom. I spun the first half from end to end, which is, I think, one of the first times I've actually done that. I normally split both halves a couple times. And then the second half, I split into 4, if I remember correctly. And then spun that end to end and plied them together. Again, on my Daedalus Starling, which I love that wheel. And I made the adjustment that they told me to make after like 2 days.
Yeah, that was really awesome.
And that actually helped quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I got I don't know where. I know I created the tag. I just didn't attach it yet, I don't think. So I got 366 strands. 366 times 28 divided by 36. So I got about 284 yards out of this. So this is like a DK Sport. I would say more DK. And we'll undo the skein. This is a really bouncy, like soft
It's
yarn.
so soft. It honestly, it's probably one of the softest spins that I think that you've done.
So here you can see there's some really large sections. And this is what I mean about thick and spin.
Thick and thin.
Thick and thin spots. Like here is one where apparently I decided to not spin this fiber there. I just let it go on the wheel. But then you get some really thin pieces.
That's the fun of it, though.
Right here. Yeah, no, that's the beauty of it. But you can see, let's see if you can see.
It's so good. The spring.
The spring in it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that means anything, like if I underspun or something. And one thing...
It feels so great.
I need to learn how to do... I actually have a book coming on twist.
Oh, that could be cool.
I signed up for Ply Magazine's like quarterly magazine, but in it there's a book that they were offering on their site on twist. I don't understand a lot about the... All right, here's a really good section, I think, to talk about this. So sometimes my ply is a little more like coily right up here, where the space between... I think this is a good example. I don't know if this is a great example. Maybe up here is.
But the space between the plies?
Yeah, so it's hard to describe, but you can feel it when you're plying, like even when I'm plying, is that it's more coily. It's not as smooth. It's not as even, the ply. And sometimes it gets away from me, and I don't know how to correct that. Or how to tell what my... I'm not really good at telling what the ply angle is and what I want that ply angle to be. I watch videos and they're like, oh, I want it to be at like a 30-degree angle. And I'm like, okay, cool. But why? You know, like what is... You know, a 10-degree would be underplied, or like, you know, like that type of thing. So that's what I think I need to learn a little bit more about. And then in the past 3 weeks, what I've decided to is that I have a very specific project that I want to spin for. But in order to do that, I either need to make... It's a finger and weight pattern. So I either need to make it DK, or I need to get better at spinning thin consistently. And that's another thing I don't understand. I don't have any of my spinning stuff up here.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. You are not a prepper.
No, neither one of us are. But
I'm much more organized.
On the spinning card that actually shows your degree, there's also, you know, a pseudo wraps per inch, like an estimated wraps per inch. And I had watched a video a really long time ago, and by that I mean like within the past 6 months, that said if you're looking to get a fingering weight yarn, each of your plies should be this wraps per inch. And I don't remember what that was or who I watched, and I can't find any information about that. Like if I want a fingering weight, what do both of my singles need to be? So if you know, comment down below. But this is a lovely...
It's beautiful. The colors are stunning.
It needs to be something.
It looks so like smooth and cool, you know? Does anybody else feel that? Like that?
Yeah, it's cool. Very... It is. It's a very cool colorway where this one...
It's cool as well. It's like a cooler color, but it's deeper. Those look fantastic together.
Should I use these in a...
Yes.
Together?
Yes.
In a...
Wow.
Wait, and...
They look fantastic together. You have stuff everywhere.
All right, wait. We're going to... Hold on. All right, let's talk this out. So I do want to do an Andrea Mowry's shift.
Yeah.
Do I want to do my shift with these three? I don't know. This is literally my favorite one ever. And I have more fiber to do this. This is my favorite color that I've spun. This was Into the World, the Hollow, Merino Yak Silk. Like, if you're a spinner, I highly recommend getting this. This was my favorite spin. Hands down. And I have another braid of it. So I feel like... Or do I use the other braid and try to go to fingering weight for my other thing? So can I do these three together to do a shift? Or those three? Or...
That's nice.
All right, guys. So here's your opinion. To do an Andrea Mowry shift, do I do option 1?
Are you going to remember what option 1 is? Because you're not going to watch back this video.
Option 1. Oh, that's a video. I need a photo. Oops. All right, there's option... Oh my god, it went to video again. Photo. Option 1.
People already forgot what option 1 was.
All right, here we're going to go. Option 1.
Okay, let's hold them up close and for a longer period of time. Okay. Option 1.
Take this one away, please. Option 2.
You want to take a picture of me holding them up while we can...
Yep.
I vote for option 2.
Or option 3.
Oh.
Can you hold that up again so I can take another picture?
Yeah.
Or option 3.
I like option 3.
I think I'm leaning towards option 3.
Yeah.
So...
I do. I like option 3.
Comment down below which one you like better.
Yeah, sounds great.
So that's all my FOs.
Okay.
All right, so now we're going to move...
You know, if we were fancier, we can have a voting option. You can do that on Instagram. Can't you do like a voting thing on Instagram?
Yes.
Like a poll?
Yeah. Maybe I'll do that too.
Maybe we'll do a poll in our stories.
Okay. And then let's move on to whips. We each have 3.
Shh. I have 4.
Okay, so then you go first.
Okay. Excuse me. Let's talk about this one first. Just because I'm not quite sure how I'm going to be able to do all of this. Okay, so I showed the pattern last time. These are amigurumi. My mother thought it would be really cute, and it is a really cute idea, to make one of these for each of the kids, so her grandkids, our nieces and nephews, to make each one of those for Easter. Easter is March 20th this year.
April
20th this year. And so this is, I linked this in the previous show notes. It was a little bit difficult to get to. I believe it's an Etsy shop. So we'll have it linked down below as well. But it's a very, very cute, they're like Easter egg shaped bunnies. And my mother had my mother bought all of the yarn already for it. And she came over the day after the podcast so that we can do it together and I can kind of help her get back onto the crochet thing. Sorry. But this yarn it's a little bit tough to work with. We're using loops and threads just because of the bulkiness of it, and it's very difficult sometimes to see your stitches with amigurumi with this type of yarn because you want to crochet tight enough where the stuffing isn't going to pop out. So, but it is really, really soft. So it's 100% polyester. This is a super bulky number 6 yarn from Loops and Threads. Sweet Snuggles Light, I guess, is the yarn line from Loops and Threads or whatever. So here is where I'm at right now. So my mother is a no to do this project. It just didn't work out for her, and I don't want to ruin crochet for her. So, okay. you start with the little legs and feet. So I have 2 arms done, 2 legs done for these little guys, and I'm using a J hook or a 6mm crochet hook from Clover and Moore's, my favorite crochet hooks. And I did the body with the eyes. So it's a very weird shape. It definitely looks... I followed the pattern 100%. It is going to be super squishy and super soft. It took a lot of stuffing, which typically it does. So my stuffing... I have to get some more stuffing. I was pricing them on Amazon, and there's all these different kinds of fiber fill now. I really want to get like the cotton, like natural fiber fill instead of polyester. But whatevs. Okay, so the feet are going to kind of go here, like so. We'll put the little arms on. I have to do the snout and the ears, and there's a little tail as well. So what I was thinking, because we technically want to make 8 of them, we have 5 of our own,
right?
And then my mom's friend also has 3 grandkids, and they wanted to do one for all of their grandkids as well. So I do not like sewing, and I don't like attaching things. I always end up doing it, wrong. So I thought I will crochet all of the pieces, and then I will give this to my mom and Cheryl, her friend, and to put it all together. Right? That's kind of what I was thinking. I just need to hunker down and see what I can get done.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be very, very cute. There's a bunch of different colors. There's some yellows, like a light blue. This is a really cute, like, peachy color. I don't know what color this actually is. What would you call this color? Cream? Peach? Okay.
Neither.
This is color SK20. Neither. What would you call this? Green. Sorry, this looks greenish to me. Is it green? Green.
It's like a minty.
Yeah. Yep, I see it now. It's the lighting. The lighting changes things. Okay, so that's whip number 1 for me. It is really squishy and soft though. So it's an easy pattern to follow, and it's really quick because of the bulky weight of the yarn. It's just a lot.
Yeah. Cute though.
Yeah. So you start at the bottom, do your increases, do some decreases. Bob's your uncle.
Bob's your uncle.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, so that's number 1.
All right. My first whip are my February socks from Woolens and Nosh. Well, not. These are the ones I should have finished last month, and I'm so close. All I have are my heels. Colorway. This is Woolens and Nash, which, if you guys are in the area.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, my God.
So, just so you know, between us.
Here's an announcement. But shh.
No, it's already been announced.
Yeah, but, they're hearing it from us for the first time.
So,
Do you want to speak into the microphone?
No, thank you.
We have an announcement to make. Kevin, it's all you.
Stop.
You should do it. You've never done into the microphone.
So, Michelle's going to be at Skein Yarn Shop.
Michelle's going to be at
Skein for a trunk show. So, just saying, if you're in the area and you want to see some Woolens and Nosh in person, you should go.
Yeah, local Yarn Shop Day is April 16th, something like that?
No, it's the
Saturday?
last Saturday of April.
Oh, is it the last Saturday of April?
Because that's when Connecticut Sheep and Wool is.
April 26th. Local Yarn Shop Day.
Yep.
April 26th. We've got a lot of things going on that day.
So this is the color...
It's a podcast day as well.
It is. If hibernating is wrong, I don't want to be right. This is from Woolen and Nosh's January 2025 club. So here's sock 1. Here's what Ray means about afterthought, forethought. I have my markers here. That's where I'm going to put my heel.
You don't do one in the middle?
No, I don't.
Oh.
Nope. So I pick up 1 row above this marker and 1 row below.
And then you cut out that row with the markers in
Yes. Mm-hmm. And all I have to do is do my heel. This one, I'm right there. I think I just have to Kitchener.
Yeah.
And then I just have to pick up and do this. It's going to take me 2 hours to finish the sock. And I just didn't because we went to Nashville. This is what I was working on before we left. And I knew I wasn't going to Kitchener on a plane. So I brought it in case. and I just ended up not working on them. I knew I wasn't going to Kitchener talking to people.
No.
Same thing with picking up stitches and cutting and all that. So I'll just finish these this weekend.
Yeah. I worked on my socks on the plane.
And
all of that.
Living in my Bink waffle bag that I picked up at Steam, which is, this thing holds so much stuff.
Yeah.
And it's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And it's reversible.
I did have FOMO, even though we were in Nashville having a great time as well. I had a little FOMO. Skein Yarn Shop had our really good friends, Hope and Keisha, there for a trunk show. Keisha is Simply Vintage Designs, and Hope is Hope Made Yarn Co. They are a dynamic duo.
Let's go back.
Trunk show there.
I did not talk much
No, but
about
please,
this.
because I want to do this so bad.
All right, so there's two things. Is I knit my
so sophisticated
socks on US 1s, 2.25 millimeter needles, cast on 64 stitches. Actually, that's a false statement. I did not cast on that many.
Oh, you didn't?
I cast on enough to do a 2x1 rib. So depending on the size you make, you may need to make an adjustment.
And you need to do multiples of 3?
It's multiples of 3. So I followed the cuff from Summer Lee's book. Where is it?
I think it's over there.
The Sock Project.
Sock Project, yeah.
She gives you the recipe for doing a 2x1 rib. I just love the look of this.
I actually need to get one of the books over there. Do you want me to grab that one as well while I'm
Please.
on? Okay.
So I did this for 16 rounds. Did a German twisted cast on using the Andrea Mowry tutorial. This is the Summer Lee project book. If you are a sock knitter, this might be a good thing to add to your collection. It has a lot of information. So there's 25 patterns in here, 5 different heels, talks about cuff down socks, toe up socks, and tips on sizing and fitting. The best tip, though, for sizing and fitting is to make socks until you figure out what your correct size and fit is.
Yeah.
You kind of just have to figure out what works for you, and that's the tricky part of socks, and that's could be one of the reasons people don't like knitting them, is it takes some time to really figure out what works for you.
But you can use really any, sock yarn. Like if you don't want to, I don't want to say waste, your good yarn or expensive yarn or whatever, because sock yarn can be very expensive. Like Woolens and Nosh is a pricier yarn, but there's a lot of work that goes into it. So I wouldn't recommend practicing, with a skein like that if you've never done socks before. But I'll tell you, I think the first couple of pairs of socks until I got my recipe right was from Knit Picks using Stroll. And Hawthorne. I don't know if they still have Hawthorne.
They do.
But Hawthorne was a good... and they're very affordable,
I mean, the thing with socks, too, is depending on the yarn, you may have to make some adjustments. Because Woolens and Nash is a little bit thicker than a Felici, for instance, or a Stroll.
Yep.
So here's something...
But that'll help you get your feet wet. No pun intended.
This method here...
Yes, I've seen that before.
That's what Summer Lee considers a forethought. Mm-hmm. Doing the stitch marker, she considers an afterthought.
But see, she's knit the tube first and then she's marked it. So that's an afterthought.
No, she did.
Yeah,
she
should have a long tube.
Yeah, but she marked it as she knitted. So she considers an afterthought. Putting a forethought is when you put the string in, because you just rip it right out and you have your live needles. You don't have to cut it.
I disagree with that.
I'm glad that we disagree to disagree.
Yeah, I disagree with that.
So that is... what else? I do my toe pretty much the same way as Ray, except I do not do decreases every round. Mm-hmm. I still continue every other round till I have 16 stitches on both my front and back needle of magic loop, this is how it looks. Because I believe this is 16. And then I Kitchener, and for my heel, I did 3 extra rounds, and then I started my decrease and knit round every other round.
And you decrease every other round, until always.
Until I have 16 stitches on both.
I don't know why I do that. I feel like I think it was, I'm not sure. It was probably in one of the sock patterns that I had originally started from. But I love that colorway so much. It was my absolute favorite. And Michelle, being the kindest person in the whole entire world, she had some leftover yarn. It's not a full skein, although it's 90 grams. She sent me a sock set.
Very nice.
Isn't that so nice of her? She's so sweet. Oh yeah, it says I'll be at skiing April 26th.
No. All right.
We might be there too.
Next whip.
Next whip. All right. The next whip is a... Do you want to talk about this yet or no?
I don't have one.
You didn't start it?
No.
Oh. What do you want to do? Can I talk about it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll talk about this.
Because today is the 22nd, so we were told we... Hold on. Let me just check.
Okay. So while you're checking that, I will say I did bring out I brought back out into rotation... Guys, it's been a long time I've been working on this project. This is my Wild Horses cardigan. I brought it back out to do some things on it because I had finished my previous sweater. So now I thought it would be great to pull this back out again. This is Wild Horses by Ann Hansen over at Knit Spot.
We can't talk about that, by the way.
Oh, no?
This is after today.
Okay, great. So I'm glad that you looked. Thank you. I'll have to take the project out, though, just because...
Yes.
What the heck is it? Wow, I started this a while ago. April 20th of last year, I started this project. Okay, so this is Wild Horses. You have a pullover version or a cardigan version from Knit Spot. I loved the just relaxed look of it. And for those of you who have been following along, I have made some significant progress. I am currently using Bare Naked Wools by Knit Spot in their Better Breakfast Fingering. The colorway is Milk and Honey, I believe.
Yes.
Where is that? Milk and Honey. It's 55% merino, 35% de-haired alpaca, and 10% nylon. It is luxurious feeling. It is extremely soft. There's something about it that really does make it feel quite luxurious. So I had finished the back of the sweater a while ago. So you can see it's all wrinkly from being in my bag. It is knit bottom up in pieces and then will be seamed together. I did as the pattern recommended. I don't actually think it called for a tubular cast on, but that's what I did. I just love it on this yarn. It rolls right over, super nice, 1x1 rib. I think I'm doing the 4th size in this pattern, or the 3rd size. Let me see.
It's going to be a very nice staple, yes. I think, in your wardrobe. It's going to be very handsome looking and a nice neutral.
Yes, I agree with that. And I have some really beautiful leather buttons. I think they're leather buttons. Beautiful brown buttons to put on this sweater that we'll talk about when I get closer. So I'm knitting the 3rd size for a 44-inch chest circumference.
Can I ask what the positive ease is supposed to, or recommended?
4 to 6... Fit with 4 to 6 inches of ease. My chest is...
42.
Well,
you go anywhere between a 40 to 42 in most of the time.
Yeah, I'm probably a 48 right now after all the food that we ate in Nashville, but who cares? Okay, so I finished the back quite a long time ago here. And I'm doing the front panels now, and I'm doing those 2 at a time. So I'll hold it up, and you can see I probably put about almost 3 inches, I think, on this now. Where are we? Here we are. So so you can see here are the panels. Here's where I was last time. So about 2 inches, 2.5 inches. But I did pull these back out again. They're curling, so I was getting a little bit nervous about size. But it's really gonna be beautiful, I think, with this yarn.
Yeah.
So I'm supposed to knit this to, I think, about 16 inches, 17 inches, somewhere around there. So I'm very, very close to that. That's why I put it down, because I needed to actually look and measure and start the underarm shaping. So I pulled these back out. I'm knitting these on my Chowgu Forte. The recommended sizes, so a 3.75 millimeter needle is for the body of the sweater, and I believe it's like a US 1 and then a US 2 for the
This sounds about right.
yeah, right? Let me just pull it up. The needles, so US 5, 3.75 millimeter, which is what I'm doing for the body. US 3, 3.25 millimeter needle for the
ribbing.
Yeah, I guess it was just 2 sizes. Why did I think it was 3 sizes? Oh, I think because
Something
I
else
cast
you just
on.
did.
When I cast on, I used a smaller needle size for the tubular cast on. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, so yeah, I'm just pulling that back into rotation. So just a reminder for those who are either new or just needed a little bit of a whatever I'm saying. I have no idea what I'm saying.
Refresher.
Thank you. That's exactly the word I was looking for, Kev. Great job.
All right.
So that's that, and that's living in my Tanny Casey bag with the sheeps on it.
I love a bucket bag.
Absolutely love. I got this. I transferred this into this bag because I loved it so much, and I got this from
when we went to Boston, right?
Nope.
Cake
Palooza this year. Thanks, Kev. Okay.
Oh, and your fiber optic yarn. I don't know if I said this before, but I thought about it. You got that in 2022.
Yeah.
At Rhinebeck.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up, you guys know this. You're probably tired of hearing about this pattern because I've made so many of it. This is the Salish cap.
Yeah, I'm tired of it.
Me too.
Just kidding.
Wait, where is it? I just like it because when I don't know what to knit, I can pick up some yarn, just go, and it is a perfect gift knit.
Yeah.
This is the Salish cap by Mary Pernica for Blue Sky Fibers and their Traveler series. It is pretty much a one-size-fits-all. It is knit using 2 skeins of fingering held double for a DK weight, and it is knit on a US 8 or a 5 millimeter needle. This is the pattern. So because the way that it's knit, you can wear it slouchy or you can wear it with a fold-over brim. It's living in my Matter Root bag. And I grabbed 2 skeins of some leftover yarn and cast on while we were knitting Friday night in Nashville. So this was cast on in Nash. Here's what I have so far.
They look cool together.
Yeah, I really like
the
marling of these 2 colors. So the 2 colors are Rumpelstiltskin from Lolo Did It.
Wow, good job.
This is her 75-25 base. I use this in my Slip Stravaganza. This was my main color. This is might be Lolo Did It.
You don't think it's Amanda Knits?
No, this is color C or D from my first Vertices Unite.
Wow. Look at you. Good
I'm
job.
pretty confident that it's from there. So these are them separately. So we have a very dark green and then a tonal speckly, goldeny thingamajigger. Beige, brown, golds. And this is them together. And I think that they, like, as I was knitting it, I was really, really happy with just the way that it looks.
Yeah, it does. It looks really cool.
It's very outdoorsy looking.
I was just going to say that. It looks foresty.
And what's really nice is you can see it's a 2x2 rib. So super basic.
Yeah.
I cast on the number of stitches. I think this is a $3 pattern, if I remember correctly.
It's way worth it.
I've made 6 to 7 of these in the past less than a year, I think. I do German twisted cast on, and then you just work it until like, I want to say like 10 inches or something like that. And then you do some decreases. So you can see the stretch in it, and that's why it fits most heads. There's just a lot of give here. So just a really, really great gift pattern. a good way to use up some scraps. I typically use, I think it's somewhere around the 40 gram mark. So if you have 45 grams of yarn fingering, you'd be safe with making
of each skein.
Of each skein, yes. I did, the last one I did, I pulled from both the inside and outside of the same color and did a hat. I've used the yarn. They were kind enough to send us some of their yarn. It recommends using the Woolstock Light.
Well, yeah. I did one with that.
Right. So I've done it with that. I've done it with solids and speckles. So it's just a really good gift knit. So I throw this in. I'll throw it in a gift bin unless I really want it for myself, which I may. And then during the holiday season, people could take stuff from the gift bin, or you could donate it. And then I have this stitch marker, which I wanted to show. This is from Twin Mountain. Which we got this at Magpie Fibers when we went to Maryland Sheep and Wool 2 years ago. So a little succulent.
Yeah. We'll show a little bit more of
so that's
their stuff later.
That.
Beautiful.
Oh my god. No, forget it.
What?
Because that's for later.
Okay. Are you going to remember?
Probably not, but...
Well, just say it.
I want to say how they stopped me on our way home because I had this in my bag. And they asked me if I had sharp objects in my bag. And I told them...
You did.
I had knitting needles.
Yeah. The TSA stopped Kevin.
Yeah.
But they didn't throw away any of your needles.
No, they did not.
So that's fabulous. Okay, my last whip that I will show, because I'm not allowed to show...
Oh, that's right. We're not
allowed to show the other one just yet. But it'll be so worth it when we're able to.
Correct.
But will plug, though, however, next weekend, Red Stag Fiber is going to be at Pick Up Every Stitch in Mount Kisco, New York, to do a trunk show. And I believe they're both going.
Yes, so they are both going. Sharon announced it on her Instagram, actually.
Yeah.
So Josh is the owner of Red Stack Fiber.
The dyer.
Dyer and owner?
Well, maybe they both own it.
Oh, that's a good point.
We both own Needles at the Ready.
True.
But you do the dyeing.
That's a really good point. And then Sharon owns Modern Skein in Conroy,
well, I don't know the town.
Texas.
Great job.
And
high five.
She has a new shop, which is beautiful. And Josh's studio is now in the back of the shop. And they will both be at Pick Up Every Stitch, March 29th, from noon to 4 for a Red Stag Fiber trunk show.
Yeah, so if you're in the area, definitely swing on down. Even if you're not in the area and you want to make a trip of it, it's a beautiful area. There's a really lovely diner, which is not really a diner. It's like a fancy diner right up the road.
Excuse me.
Like, not even right up the road. Like
walking distance.
Yeah,
we walked there last
two
time.
buildings away. It was delicious. We may or may not be there. We're not 100% sure. We'll have to see what our calendar looks like.
Yeah, our hope is to make it.
Yeah.
So if we do go, we'll be recording next Sunday instead of Saturday.
Right.
Probably.
And we'll post it on our Instagrams.
Yeah.
And stuff.
But we are hoping to make it because... it
would be great to see them.
Yeah, we haven't seen them since Indie. Untangled.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so my last whip that I will be showing, and I talked about this, I was super excited about it, and I'm even more excited that it's actually on the hook cord. It's happening, folks. It's happening. This is another, my blanket that I am doing as part of our From a Book Mal, and this is out of the Tunisian Crochet Handbook by Tony Lipsy. It is a pattern called, excuse me, I keep forgetting it. Something tassel throw. It's a beautiful book, by the way. There's a lot of information in here. Calming the curl. That sounds fun. Oh my gosh. Here we are. Okay, this is called, look at how beautiful that is. That's a cowl. Tote bag. Guys, I should have... Okay. The Hudson Tassel Throw. So it is a honeycomb stitch blanket, basically. It does have tassels, but I am not going to be putting the tassels on my blanket. I showed you my yarn last time that I got from Skein Yarn Shop. I just love the idea of a Tunisian crochet blanket. So the tassels are really cool. We're just not tassel people. But this is going to hang out on my couch. I can't wait to snuggle up with it. The yarn that I chose, just to give you a refresher to Kevin's, using Kevin's word, is the Barocco Vintage Chunky. I bought 12 skeins of this. I'll probably use all 12. I might want to get some more just because I might want a little bit more oversized. It's 52% acrylic, 40% wool, and 8% nylon. It's actually a really lovely yarn. I believe the colorway is called Smoke.
Yes.
Color Smoke. 6106. There it is right there. And here's where I'm using the recommended crochet hook because it's a bulky weight yarn. It is an L/11 8mm crochet hook. And here's what I have so far.
I think it's pretty.
But you have.
I just don't see the honeycomb.
Oh, I will show you. I will show it to you. So this is what I have so far. With the blanket. It's a little bit scrunched up, so it's longer than that.
Is it lengthwise or widthwise?
Oh, it's backwards. Sorry. Do this. There it is. Okay, so this is a honeycomb stitch because these here make little honeycombs. They're not, I know. But that's what they call it, okay. A honeycomb stitch, because of the honeycomb kind of shape.
Yeah, it's just not as prevalent as like.
It's not like a honey crisp or anything like that. Honeycomb. What was that cereal called?
Honeycombs.
But I think it's still a very beautiful.
Yeah, it's a very nice.
Very
stitch.
beautiful stitch. Very beautiful texture. It is extremely easy to do.
Okay, I see now. So this is width. From here to here is going to be the width of the blanket. This would be the length.
Yeah, I believe this is going to be the length.
Just because if you did it this way, you wouldn't really see the honeycomb. In order to see it, you would have to hold it this way. I feel like, right?
Sure. Yeah, I guess you can see it. It's just, I don't know, that's what it's called. The honeycomb.
No, I know.
I'm not quite sure what the length or the width is.
Because I don't see it this way. Maybe I do.
Yeah,
okay.
It's the same.
All right.
It's okay. So, all the stitch is the simple stitch and Tunisian purl. And the Tunisian purl is really fun. It's not like purling and knitting.
Excuse me.
Yeah. So that's it. So I think it's going to be a really cozy, really, really nice blanket. I do love the texture. I love the density of it as well. And it's going to have, like, it's chunky weight, but it doesn't feel chunky. It feels very similar to the thickness of this shawl almost. Maybe a touch
definitely thicker.
Yeah.
I think once you're done with it, it's going to be quite a heavy blanket.
It's going to be so nice.
It's going to be like a weighted blanket.
It's going to be really, really nice. So that's that. So I'm just kind of moving along. Just moving along, grabbing it. It sits next to my couch. I'll put a row or two on it. I've already gone through one skein. No. Two.
No.
Nope. One. This is the second skein.
Yeah.
I have a couple more passes to go before I'll need my third. So that's why I think I did measure it after the first skein. And I don't remember exactly what it was, but doing the math, that's where I figured I would need all 12.
Yeah.
All 12 of the skeins. Because I think it'll be like 50 inches long. Something like that. But yeah. Really cool. Right?
Yeah, no, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. I hope I'm doing 100. Right. Yeah, I am. So that is that. And that's living in another Tanny Casey bag that we got in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
I love the red.
Yeah. All right. So I have one last. This is our final whip.
I gotta take this out of this bag. Yeah. I have to show.
This is an oldie. So we had mentioned on the last episode that I think it was our last episode. Yeah, it was. Yeah. That our friends Gail and Laura have released a podcast called The Yarn Room.
Hi, ladies.
Hi, ladies. Yarn Room Shenanigans. They are also from East Greenwich, Rhode Island. Not that we are. Not like we're also from there. We're kind of
Rhode Islanders.
Yeah. So
we're roadies.
They started talking, and I saw this on. We're gonna have a lot to link, man, and I apologize. We're
not doing show notes. I'm just kidding. Can you imagine?
I also saw this initially on Wool and Wishes. Tracy and Kirsty talked about it, where they were starting the year trying to clear out some of their whips.
Did you get one?
No.
Oh.
But this is the backstory to this whip. And Tracy and Kirsty talked about how they bought like a 20-sided dice or something like that. They roll it, and then all of their whips have a corresponding number, and then that's what they work on.
If we go to England next year to what's the fiber festival?
Unraveled.
Unraveled. Ladies, if we go to Unraveled next year, can we hang out? Like do dinner and stuff? Do you guys drink? Not that you need to drink to have a good time. Right. But I want to be their friends. I want to really be their friends.
So
carry on. So sorry, I interrupted.
Right. So they talked about that, Tracy and Kirsty, on Wool and Wishes. Gail and Laura also watch Wool and Wishes, so they thought it was a great idea. So they did the same thing. They bought little metal tags to put on all their bags, and they roll their dice. And they were making some progress on whips. When we got back from Nash, was just like, what do I want to work on? We were watching the Yarn Room Shenanigans, and I was like, do I buy a die? And I was like, I don't know. So I just knew I had this whip downstairs, and I grabbed it. This was cast on in October of 2023. And it's living in my Magner bag that I got from Brooklyn General when we did the Hoagie thing.
Yeah, that's right.
With Paula from Maya. So I have picked up, and I don't know why I put this down. Something must have caught my eye, and I started working on something else. And I was really happy I picked it up, too, because one of my favorite lotions is in there.
Earl Grey tea. Time to stand up, it says.
I've picked back up my Geo Gradient Shawl by Stephen West. This was the 2023 MCAL. And I have 2 sections left to do, and I'm almost done with one of them.
Oh, I don't know if I'm a fan of the Earl Grey tea.
Oh, really? Too strong? I love it.
Okay.
I got this at Moogie's.
That's great.
I even have like a soap and all.
I love the brand. I have a different flavor, but
in case you guys were wondering, this is the brand.
We're not linking it down below.
This one I'm not linking down below.
Maybe we will. It's actually really great. It's a really good lotion.
And
is it local?
I don't know. So this is what I have.
No, it's from England and China. I'm happy to. Yeah.
So, and as you can see, maybe I really think part of the reason I put down is all the freaking ends. But here's all my ends. So we're going this way. As you can see, my middle section here is different than what the pattern called for the second time. I followed somebody on Instagram. They had put some notes in their Ravelry on how to do this, which I love this. It's very graphic. Mm-hmm. And then when I picked it up, I was here at this green. So I've done this since
love
Wednesday.
This section here.
So do you know what this section is? And we'll pull this up. So this is a slip stitch section. You know the Metropolitan cowl that I did?
I was going to say
it is the same exact thing.
Oh.
It's just in a different sequence. I do love this section because you're decreasing every other row. Mm-hmm. You know, it goes faster the more you get done. Mm-hmm. The thing I don't like about this section is you want to make sure that your floats, because they're on the outside. I mean, same thing with when you're doing...
On the right side.
On the right side. It's the same thing as when you're doing color work. You want to make sure they're not too tight or too loose. So that's kind of hard to gauge with this. But I think I'm okay.
Yeah, it looks great.
I figure once I block it, I should be okay. Like these down here look a little loose to me, but blocked, they're going to stretch out, and I think they'll be fine.
Me too.
So yeah, this is all of Needles at the Ready yarn. This is in the colorway Ghost, Wedding Mints, New Growth, and Shady Pines.
And those are we carry those colors all the time.
I think right now maybe just some Shady Pines and Ghost is in stock. I don't think.
But those are regularly dyed.
Yeah, I could dye these.
Yeah.
So if you wanted any of them, definitely reach out.
The colors together look stunning.
They are on. This is on the BFL base, the 7525 BFL, and as you can see, I have more ends on this side. So what I'm going to do is once you finish it, you have to pick up for the border, and that's it. And the border...
But is that it? You just have to decrease down to the point and then just do the border?
Yeah, so there are 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've done 4 full repeats, and I need to do 6 full repeats,
oh, wow.
and then 1 additional white and 1 ghost, 1 additional wedding mints, and then it's bound off. But then you pick up 490 something stitches and do a dip stitch, which...
What the hell is a dip stitch?
Dip stitch, from what I was watching on his video, it's 5 stitches, right? So you have 5 stitches on your needle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You bring your yarn 5 rows below.
Oh no.
Knit in between stitch 5 and 6. Pull it on your needle. Then knit the next stitch. And you keep doing that all the way down. Or all the way up, rather. You start 5 rows below, then 4, then 3, then 2, then 1. So your 5 stitches turn into 10. It's bananas looking. Let me see.
Are you going to do the fringe?
I'm not doing fringe. Let me see if I could get...
Oh, that looks really cool, though.
So this is the dip stitch down here.
That looks neat.
Yeah, and you can see there he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. And it's that kind
They're like
of
little
thing.
clusters almost.
Yes, it's very clustery. You can do more than 5 if you want. So when I get to that section, I'm going to weigh like Ghost.
Yeah.
Weigh it once I start. See how much I use with the first section. And then I will determine how many I'm going to do. Because if I can use all of these, that'd be great. If I could end up with 10 grams or maybe a little bit more, that's cool too, because I could throw it in a blanket.
Perfect.
But I would like to use as much of this as possible. So
that's worth it, though. It looks really beautiful.
yeah, I love the colors. I think this is going to be stunning when it's done. I don't know why I put it down.
Yeah, it's really, really great.
A lot of the times when I put something down, it's because there's a mistake and I just don't want to fix it at that moment. But there were no mistakes. So...
Can you do a Weave and Steven or with these, or not really?
The reason that you can't with this is so let's say you join your new yarn, you knit your first 2 stitches for the I-cord, you do an SSK for your I-cord, right? Yes, SSK. And then your next section where you're going to knit could be you're only knitting 1 stitch. Or you're knitting 2, or you're knitting 3, or you're knitting 4, or you start slipping stitches immediately, so you're not knitting. So there's no place to really do that Weave and Steven 4. So I've done it the best that I could, but there's never more than 4 knitted stitches in a row. And when I join new yarn, I wait until I start the Weave and Steven either with the 2nd or 3rd stitch. Because otherwise, on the edge, it can make it a little bit too tight. So yeah, it'll be fine. I don't hate weaving in ends, so it'll be okay.
Yeah, you'll be fine. It looks like you'll have a lot of places to weave it in. It's not like it's gonna.
Yeah,
you can even weave in 2 at a time.
I know. I don't like the bulk that adds.
Okay.
But yeah, or I could just make fringe with this, you know?
Yeah.
This could be fringy.
It is fringy.
I know. So yeah, that's Geo Gradient.
Okay. It's great. I'm glad that you pulled it back out again.
Knit on a US 4, a 3.5 millimeter needle.
Beautiful. It's really nice. I do love the colors together.
Yeah, honestly. I love those colors.
Yeah, they're really good.
All right, so that is all.
That concludes all of our projects.
Yes, that we've been working on.
Yeah, it's getting a little chilly, huh?
Yeah, I think so. If we're also not feeling the greatest, it could be that too.
I'm just tired.
All right, so let's see. Do we have, outside of Nash,
Yeah.
Do we have any Owl Post or any Break in the Bank?
Yes, you have that book.
I have a book.
Yeah, I put it on your side over there.
I bought a book?
Didn't you?
Oh, no, we got a book. I didn't buy this.
Oh, yeah, we got a book.
Let me put that to the side, too.
That wasn't related to Nash.
No, this was sent to us. So this was sent...
Owl Post.
This is Owl Post by Joe Wilcox. It is a book called
Yes.
The Fabric We Make, How
That's
to
right.
Knit a Community. And what I love about the cover is that it has
Emotional support
chickens, which I need more. So Joe's been blogging about knitting an LGBTQIA plus issue since 2020.
2002.
2002. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
His blog is Queer Joe. And he recently released this book and reached out to us and asked if we wanted to receive a copy. And I thought it would be great to have a physical one so we could actually show it to you.
Yeah.
And he is also one of the co-founders of the Men's Knitting Retreats.
Which one day we might get to.
I know, one day we need to get one. So I just want to see, I'm going to Google, and I just want to see where you could like purchase it. Or if they're for purchase already. Yeah, you can buy it on Amazon. Amazon Books. Paperback is $14.95. Hardcover is $34.95. You can get a Kindle for $9.25. And audiobook is 99 cents with membership. So thank you, Joe, for sending that along to us.
Yeah, super
we need
awesome.
to give it a read.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So that is it. Look at us go. All right, we're going to jump into Nashfest.
Nashfest.
So, if you're not sticking around, thank you so much.
Susie.
It's going to be spam.
No, it's a picture of... Thought I'd share what's... Oh, no, this is from Katie.
Oh.
From work. Because she has the parakeet.
Oh, yeah.
And this is her son. The parakeet loves her son. Her son is in Zimbabwe.
Oh.
Yeah. He's like in the National Guard or some military branch. Anywho, okay.
Anyway, so we are done. So we're done with our whips. We're done with Owl Post.
I do have to tinkle. I wonder if I should do that before we start the show.
I think you should just try to hold it.
Okay.
Build up some self-control.
I have self-control. I'm a nurse, for goodness sakes. I hold my bladder all the time. Okay, so let's talk about Nashville. So, if you do not care to hear about our trip to Nashfest and all of those good things, it was lovely to see you.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us.
We'll be back in a week.
We will be back next week, whether it be Saturday or Sunday.
One of those days.
We may be a little bit light on the crafting. I don't know what we can get done in a week, but we'll see what happens. And who cares? We're just going to visit.
Yes.
So...
Right.
Without further ado, grab a drink. Here we go. Nashfest. So, we flew out on Friday.
Well, let's start with this. If you weren't aware, Nashfest is a brand new festival that started in Nashville, Tennessee by the owners of Modern
Daily Knitting. I was going to say Modern Skein.
You were.
Yeah.
Modern Daily Knitting. And Kay, I believe, if I remember correctly.
Which we didn't get a chance to say them.
No, we did not. So they had a preview night on Friday, like a little party.
Yep.
There was the event on Saturday, and then there was an event Saturday evening, which by the time we got there, it was sold out.
It was like an after party.
It was another after party, and it was, I think, at MDK headquarters. If I remember correctly.
That would have been really cool.
So, yeah, so we flew out of Connecticut.
Yeah, it was our first time going through the small airport here in New Haven.
Yep.
Tweed Airport.
And we flew Avello was the airline that we used, which was supposed to be cheaper, but it's not.
No, and I think, who mentioned it last night?
Jeff had mentioned because it was March Madness and there was
And it was spring break.
Spring break, March Madness, SEC tournament was in Nashville. But I checked prices yesterday for like 2 weeks and it's pretty similar.
Oh, it's about the same?
Yeah.
Oh.
But whatever, we did it. The plane was a little bit small. There wasn't a lot of room.
So the knitting posse picked us up. We went as a unit to the airport.
So we were with Kim, Kate, and Laura from the knitting posse.
And so we flew down there. It was a quick flight, 2.5 hours, 2 hours 15 minutes. Took an Uber to the hotel. It was everything was kind of like close together. We weren't in a car for a very long period of time.
Yeah, that was our longest drive.
Yeah, it was like 20 minutes.
Was the Uber
minutes.
from the airport to the hotel.
Yep. We stayed at the Moxie in the Vanderbilt area, which was
Yes.
a really neat hotel. So you walk in the front door and it's like a bar lounge, huge lounge area. You check in right at the bar and they were like, it was really cool. And they said, this is our living room. So, make yourselves comfortable. They gave us a little token for a complimentary drink. And the lobby, like the lounge area, definitely felt like a lounge. People were coming in who weren't even staying at the hotel. There were couches everywhere, seating everywhere, tables and things, pool tables, and fun games like Connect 4, Giant Connect 4, Big Jenga. They had darts, foosball, all these really, really cool things. And it was in a really neat area. By us, there were so many great things to do and to eat, a lot of food. So yeah, we checked in on Friday. We met up with our good friend Michael from Upland Fiber Co. Michael Knits on Instagram. And we just were the Connecticut crew. And Friday we had a drink in the lobby, kind of got our bearings. We went out to dinner at I forgot the name of the place.
We went to Hop Dotty Burger Bar.
Hop Dotty,
So that was within walking distance of the hotel. So we walked there. We had some Nashville hot chicken sandwich, a bunch of French fries, actually, like probably more than we needed at the table.
We had like 3 or 4 giant bowls of French fries.
And then...
And now, so what do you think about the Nashville chicken?
So to me, that's not it wasn't a fried chicken, right? It was more of a chicken fillet that had a very light batter on it and lightly fried. It wasn't like a big piece of white chicken breast, double battered and fried. Like it wasn't that.
Like Haven Hot Chicken.
Right. It wasn't like that. So that's probably the only thing I wish that we looked out for one more time was a different hot chicken place. Like, yes, we were going to attempt it on Monday, I think, but at the airport. But I wish like any of the other days that we could have, but we just didn't have the ability to do so with all the stuff we had going on.
But is that the traditional Nashville style where it's a thinner chicken breast, lightly battered, and maybe the Haven Hot Chicken? It's not. They don't tout it as Nashville style.
I think they do.
Do they?
I think so.
I don't know. Or is it thick? So what's the traditional one? And you're right. I wish we had gotten a second one so that we could compare.
It was good though.
It was good.
Delicious.
It tasted delicious.
Yes.
Yeah.
So after we did Hop Dotty, we walked around that street for a little bit. We were down.
And the weather was gorgeous on Friday.
It was.
Yeah.
So that was 21st Avenue South.
Okay.
So we did a little walk up and down there, and as we were walking, we decided that we were going to do some axe throwing. So we went to Bad Axe, and that was one of the best times I've ever had.
Mm-hmm. You can see a lot of these pictures I posted on our stories, and then I created a
highlight reel?
A highlight reel, so you can see all of these pictures on Instagram if you want to see us throwing axes and all that stuff.
Yeah, it was probably one of the most unexpected best times that I've had.
Those are always the best.
It lasts for an hour.
Yep.
And your bartender is also your coach, and they teach you all about it, how to be safe. And we had so much fun doing it. I won the first round because I'm a natural.
He's a pro.
Just call me Paul Bunyan.
Hey, Paul.
And Kim won the second round.
Yeah. Kim was precise. Like, we made up our own we played. They have a bunch of different types of games that you can play and scorecards and different things. So we just did the first one. We did like traditional
score.
Score. We just kept score. Whatever ring had a certain score in it, whatever. The second one we wanted to have everybody hit a specific like target. That one time or whatever. Yeah, Kim was really precise. She got every one.
Who did she get the 8? Who got the dot?
I think it might have been Kim.
It was either Kim or Michael.
Shoot.
Or was it Kate? Who the heck got the dot?
I have a feeling it might have been Kim.
I don't remember.
but I don't remember either.
I don't remember now.
It was a really great time.
It was. We had a blast doing that. And that was kind of how our Friday night concluded. Or no, we went back to the hotel, and our hotel was full of knitters.
Oh, it's so great.
So many knitters stayed at the hotel. Also, Arne and Carlos.
Yeah, they stayed at
the hotel too.
Yeah.
So we saw them there before we went to dinner.
Yep. Yep.
So we
ran into them pretty much the entire weekend.
Yeah.
Just like, hello, how are you? Chit-chatting.
So we went downstairs and we knit that evening.
Yes.
Because we ran into Caitlin.
And Jen? Did we see Jen?
Jen
Gagley? Is that her last
name? I don't remember if it was Friday. Yes, I'm sure we saw her Friday. And then the other lady who... I can't think of her name off the top of my head. But we ran into a bunch of people Friday night. We sat down and we knit. That's when I cast on the hat, actually. Was Friday night.
That's right. Yep.
And then we went back to the hotel and we went to...
We were in the hotel when we were knitting.
We stayed in the hotel?
The lobby. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. We knit where we stayed.
Yeah.
And then Saturday morning was Nash Yarn Fest. And this was there were tornadoes, warnings, and watches and stuff.
Yeah,
but we knew it before we left, but the weather was not great on Saturday. There was
a couple of tornadoes did touch down in the Texas area, and
not a couple. There were 120 tornadoes that touched down.
I know a lot of businesses and things were affected, and people did lose their lives. So it was really kind of scary for us.
Yes.
But so that was always in the back of our mind, and
right.
I have to say I was really happy with. Like everybody takes those things very seriously, which I was happy about because we don't know what to do. I mean, you hear what to do if you're not from those areas, but to actually see, everybody is just hyper aware of it and always kind of looking for that safe place. And there's like no questions asked. Like when those sirens go off, you take cover, you do what you got to do. But anyway, so we woke up. Yeah, it was thundering, and kind of rainy first thing in the morning. Where we stayed, luckily, like literally right across from the hotel was a place called Biscuit Love. It was delicious.
I love Biscuit Love.
Oh, I love biscuits, and it was so good. It was like, it was like all these different. It was breakfast and brunch.
Yeah, it was comfort food. So. Everything was pretty much served on or with a biscuit.
Yep.
So it was convenient because we were able to walk there and not get soaked. So we did that for breakfast and then went back to the hotel. And when I say the majority of this time I'm talking about the six of us. So the two of us,
we all stayed together.
The knitting posse, Kim, Kate, Laura, and Michael from Upland Fiber Co. So we went back to the hotel, got an Uber, and we went to Nash Yarn Fest. And that was at something Fairgrounds. Nashville
I think
Fairgrounds?
It was just called the Fairgrounds.
Oh, the
Nashville.
Fairgrounds.
Yeah.
You're right. It was called the Fairgrounds. And it
beautiful,
was...
building. It was huge.
It was a huge area.
Yeah,
they had several hangar-style buildings that were connected. And there was a second one that had another event going in it that day. The issue was the rain. The rain, it really prevented people from being able to be outside. Mm-hmm. There were some food trucks. We didn't get any food. I think we got a coffee.
Right.
But there were several food trucks. I think there was one that was a vegan option. We didn't try any of it, so I can't speak to that.
Yeah, the coffee was good.
I didn't like mine, but that was my fault.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Oh, yeah, because you didn't. Didn't make
excuse me.
But it would have been really nice, I think, had the weather been like sunny and nice, because there was potential to be outside on large lawn area. There were picnic tables kind of spaced out, outside, huge, wide sidewalks all around the buildings in the area.
Do you think those tables would have been out on the grass? Because they were all under the walkway.
Point. Good point.
So the festival started at 10.
Yes.
We got there shortly after, and there was a line to get in.
Yeah.
The line actually moved for the
at first it was slow. We were like, oh gosh, what's happening? And then it picked up.
Yeah, but for the number of people, I thought it went actually quite quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of covered parking, which was great for that day for people who actually drove there. So that was, something beneficial for them to have. And once you walked in, it was really cool because there were actually restrooms, lavatories, right by the entrance. And then when you first walked in, everything was kind of broken up into aisles, and you had your stage area over to your right where they had talks and music. There were yarn trucks in there.
There was three different yarn trucks.
Wide open. Yeah, it was wide open space. Mm-hmm. It was Yarnbirds, Frogget, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't know the third one.
I can't remember the third one.
Is Frogget the one with the baskets?
Yes. Okay. Well, I think a few of them did have baskets at that point. But yes, I think they were the ones that we've always
Yarnbird, Frogget, and I don't know if Frogget has the baskets that we typically see everywhere. But so we did our thing. We walked around, and we were there from, we'll say, 10:15 till like 4, I want to say, and we got to meet a bunch of you lovely people.
You all came out, I will say. It was really cool to meet a different group of people that we're not that we're used to. We are very lucky, and we've said this before, on the East Coast where we are. We're within a 2-hour drive for a lot of yarn festivals and events and things, and we do like to go to most of them. So we typically see the East Coast folks, right? At some of these events and things. And so it was neat to see and meet like other people who are in that area of the country. And the locals that we met were, very proud of like Nashville and their city, and like we're very welcoming. Yeah, the area, and very welcoming to us. And we got a lot of suggestions to go try different things and see different things. It was a lot of conversation for us. And it took us. We got through. I don't think we finally saw everything until almost 5:00.
It's correct.
But that's just the way that we do things anyway. We take our time. We like to chat and say hello and all of that.
So I will say, I thought that the venue was fantastic. I thought it was set up lovely for a first-time event. It was
and there were, I think, 100 vendors, right?
Yeah, there was 90 to 100 vendors. It was great because we saw vendors that we've never seen before, which is always the benefit of doing different festivals in different locations. Like when we went to Montreal, that was a blast because we saw a bunch of Canadian makers that we don't see here in the US. Going out to Portland, or no, that's Seattle last year for Flock. Again, a bunch of West Coast makers that we don't typically see here.
Yeah.
So it's just really, really fun. I will say one of the things I did not see a lot of was fiber.
Right.
I think I saw two, maybe 3 booths with fiber. And going back to the weather, I really wonder how the weather impacted it, because I thought that the crowd was great. It wasn't overly crowded. You were able to get into booths and walk around, and it was comfortable enough. But if it were a nicer day, I wonder how much of that would have extended outside to give a little more room. Right. But it could have also had more people, because I'm sure people did not travel who live in the Midwest, who are used to tornadoes and did not want to chance that.
Yeah.
So, and then the only thing was, I will say the stage I thought was in a weird spot. There was a stage pretty much in the front middle of the venue, and all the chairs were set up to watch it. So there wasn't really an area to sit down and knit. And again, that could be weather related.
Right.
So,
and where it was a little bit difficult to navigate around. So like if you were in these aisles and you wanted to walk straight ahead to the next aisles, if there were people sitting in the chairs and something going on, you couldn't do that. You had to kind of like walk all the way around to to get there. Not that it's
all the way, but now you would have had to go back like 3 to 4 rows of chairs and walk around, just kind of like zigzag just a little bit. But so that was the only thing I thought, like, maybe could have been in a different location or something. The location.
But I get it though, because that was like the focal point. Like we wanted to have the speeches, and they had music.
Yeah,
which was really cool. It was definitely really, really cool.
So if you are in the area, I would highly recommend it next year.
Yeah.
If you weren't able to make it this year, and check it out.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great. We saw some of our, some people that we had wanted to meet that we didn't get a chance to. This was our first time meeting. So we saw Steve and Andy from Leading Men Fiber Arts. They've always been very, very friendly and generous to us, and they've donated to the podcast before for our Let's Hear It for the Boys. So it was neat to see them. We got to see Cesium again.
Yes, Cat.
Yep. And we saw our I'm going to say our friends, Jay and Wayne. And we'll talk about some of these things as we show some of our projects.
Gussie
Bagco. Sorry, I didn't say from where. We saw Shayla, Black Pearl Magic. It was always great to see her again. And funny, we actually saw Katie from Katrinkles, and Kevin made a comment to her and was like, wow, you really get around. She's like, well, I can say the same about you guys.
Because you guys are... Yeah. I see you at all these events. Right. I was like...
Yeah, we sure do.
True. Good point.
Yeah, point.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Yeah,
we got to see Adela from Lolo Bean.
Yes, it was. We haven't seen her since Rhinebeck 2 years ago?
From Voldemort.
Yeah, the Voldemort year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It was just lovely.
it was cool. It was just a really cool experience. So, surprisingly enough...
We didn't buy a lot.
We
came back with a lot for y'all.
We did.
So, do we want to do that or just shoot through the rest of it? The weekend.
Oh, we can shoot through the rest of the weekend.
All right.
Yeah,
so,
good point.
And while we were there...
that was Saturday. Sorry.
Saturday, there was a downpour. It was crazy winds. I tried to capture it on video, and I couldn't.
Yeah, it was wild.
Saturday night, where did we go for dinner? Oh, we went to Taco Mama for dinner.
We were exhausted.
I've never been so tired in my life after an event.
Exhausted.
So we went to Taco Mama, had some quesadillas and a margarita, went back to the hotel, we knit, and then we went to Jenny's Ice Cream, which we don't have any here in Connecticut, and we've never heard of it, but people spoke very highly of it, and we went to Jenny's Ice Cream at about 9:30, 10 o'clock, and got some ice cream there. And Sunday morning, we went back to Biscuit Love for breakfast.
Yeah, we stood in line to go to the Pancake Pantry, which was kind of down the block. And it's really, I guess, it's a very popular place. There's always a line out the door. But why didn't we say? Yeah, but we had brunch plans on Sunday for like 12:30 brunch/lunch plans. And so it was getting close to 9, I think 9:30 when we were in line at the pancake place, and we're like, and it was going to be at least 20 minutes or half an hour wait. So then we just went back right to Biscuit Love.
Yep. So we did breakfast there.
Yeah. Then we got chicken and waffles. It was amazing. Oh my gosh, I can go for that.
I just got a basic sandwich that day.
Yeah, you're so basic.
And then we decided to walk down to downtown Nashville. So we walked through
Broadway.
Music Row.
That was really cool.
Yeah, so we got to, which was fun. We got to, number one, the neighborhoods were beautiful that we walked through.
Yes.
Music Row was really cool because we got to see a lot of the recording studios while we walked through it. And then when we got to the end, we took a right and we walked down to Broadway.
We had an amazing tour guide.
Open RCA studio. Just on the corner of 17th.
We had a really good time.
It was a blast. The walk was exactly what we needed.
Look what I found. This was over there as well.
9-inch circular needles. 9-inch circular needles.
There was a giant microphone. Okay, Ray. We saw, I mean, you've probably seen a lot of these pictures if you've watched on Instagram, but this is us in front of Dolly Parton. This was a dumpster. The art in Nashville was so cool. There was all this like, what's the word I'm looking for?
There were murals
everywhere? Painted like everywhere, and it was just so random and beautiful.
Yeah, and there's like a website you can go to that tells you where they all are. So we walked to Broadway, and Broadway, if you don't know, that's where all the country music stars bars are, pretty much. That's the touristy place to go.
Right.
So there's a bar some store and a bar, then a store, then
Yes.
a bar and a store, and it goes all the way down.
Yeah.
The Country Music Hall of Fame is down that way as well. Remember when we were walking
Yeah,
down?
that
It
was a
that
cool
big
looking building.
on
Yeah,
the
it was
right.
a neat building.
So we didn't have much time after we ate breakfast before we had brunch. So we just wanted to kill some time, and we did head in to look at cowboy boots.
Yep. Just because you had to say that we did. I couldn't get my foot in one.
We stopped at a bar. We did a shot. Got a shooter, which was like 3 shots in one. And
We were pretty well behaved, I think, when
We
it
were.
came to our consumption.
Yeah, we were used some self-control while we
Yeah.
were there. And then so then we went to brunch and we met Haley from Knit Weekend, Mia from Knit and Grace podcast, and Becky from A Hand Knit Letter.
Yes, Becky.
From A Hand Knit Letter.
I'm trying to find the picture of all
So
of us
Kim
together.
was great with this, and she had been in touch with Haley, and they set up this brunch at a restaurant called the Dells.
Here's all of us hanging out at brunch.
No,
Is that not
Becky's
everybody?
missing.
Oh, Becky's missing. Wait, hold on.
Do you have the outside photo?
I think so.
That has all of us.
Yeah, here. Oops. How come I-
Yeah, so we went to Dells for brunch and had a very lovely time. It was great getting to meet
Isn't that a
them
good
and to
picture?
chat. What else? And then Sunday night, we went out to dinner at this place called Epice.
Yeah.
It was a
Epice,
French-inspired Lebanese restaurant in 12 South District,
Mm-hmm.
I think. We had a very lovely dinner there. Like
It was
it's some of the best food that we've
phenomenal.
had.
Oh my god, look how funny. Because it was raining so much.
And 2 members of our group did not bring rain jackets.
We didn't.
Though the weather said that there would be rain.
So we
Had to buy some ponchos.
we bought some ponchos.
Some pink ponchos.
Yeah. That was our hotel lobby. It was really cool.
Yeah, so we went to Epice for dinner.
Yes, we went. It was hands down one of my all-time favorite meals, best meals that
Yeah.
I've ever had.
The food was delicious.
It was phenomenal.
And we just had a lovely time there.
Yep.
It was lovely.
Yep, it was great. It was our last meal as a
group.
sixer.
Yeah.
So after dinner, we decided to walk around that area a little bit. Like Kevin said, it was a 12
South.
South. Yeah. That neighborhood. So it was it was just us kind of like, it was nighttime. So it was a quiet area. A lot of the shops and stuff are closed, but we were like, this is a really cool place. Like, I wonder if we should come back here tomorrow during the daytime and do actual like some shopping and walking around. We did, however, find a little donut shop that night for dessert. Just randomly. We were like, oh, donuts, let's go take a look. I wish I remembered the name of it. Five Sisters or something.
It's either 3 or 5, but
They
it's
were
something
like
sisters.
the croissant style donuts that like layered.
Delicious.
They said it takes 3 days to make these donuts.
Yeah.
And you can tell, honestly, best donut. One of the best donuts I ever had.
Yeah.
It was so good. So we picked those up and then went back to the hotel.
Ate them.
When we ate them and pretty much went right to bed, I think, afterwards.
For the
because
most
it was
part,
getting
yeah.
kind of late. And
Yeah.
then Michael had to be up early for an early flight.
Yep. And then Monday morning, we checked out, went to Pancake Pantry for breakfast, and then we headed back to 12 South.
Yep.
And
And I thought the
opened up
Pancake
those-
Pantry was good, but not the best.
They were pancakes.
Yeah.
They weren't
It
like...
wasn't anything. I wouldn't stand in line again for
No,
Pancake
not
Pantry.
again. And then we went to 12 South and hung out and went into some of the shops and then headed pretty much...
Yeah, the weather turned pretty nice by Sunday
Oh,
afternoon.
yeah. No, Monday afternoon.
Monday
'Cause we
afternoon.
came home Monday.
Yeah, Monday
It did
afternoon.
warm up.
Yeah, it was nice in the afternoon. It was a long walk.
Yeah, and then we flew home Monday night.
Yep. Our flight was delayed a little bit, like
Yeah.
40 minutes or something like that, but no big deal. We got home pretty late, like 9:30 at night. We were exhausted.
We were.
Luckily, I had the next day off.
We were going to record that Tuesday, but then
Yes.
Tuesday came around and we were like, no.
It was a lot.
We still needed to like catch up on life.
Yeah, for
All
sure.
right.
Okay, so
here's what we're going to do. We're going to show everything we've purchased and that was given to us at Nash.
Yes.
We are also going to give away 2 prize packs it is going to be the FOMO, Nash FOMO prizes.
Yes.
So in order to enter, down below in your comment, you just have to use the word FOMO.
Yes. You want to talk about those prizes now? Just show them really quickly?
Sure. You have them.
I have them both here.
Okay.
So you all are so generous. Like, we had no intention of doing this, and then everybody was just so freaking generous. So Gussie Bag Co. Donated a couple of bags for the giveaway, as well as each of us got a bag too. So these are the pack-ups. We're going to choose 2 winners. You will get these delicious bags.
Well, each one of you will get one of these bags.
Yeah. And inside, these are pockets on the outside here. The huge bucket style bags, which we absolutely love. There are pockets on the inside as well. We saw our good friend from Whimsy Stitches as well, Rick, who ended up donating a few things to us as well. So in this pack up, there are 2 skeins of yarn. And Cesium Yarn also donated some yarn too. Like this, so they were like, this is why we thought, like, let's do some Nashville FOMO.
Yes.
Because like they're sharing it, and if you weren't able to be there, then you can have them. So this is called Wildflowers Don't Care Where They Grow. This is on their cashmerino sock base. Gorgeous colorway. So in this pack up, in this dark blue bag, dark blue. What color is this? Purple? This purple bag, you will get the 2 skeins of cesium yarn, as well as a set of stitch markers that was also very kindly donated by Twin Mountain Handcrafts, of these acrylic clear coffee fun. So your coffee cups, coffee pot, coffee beans. And so we're just going to randomly choose 2 winners. So the same, just put FOMO. What did you say?
FOMO.
FOMO. FOMO.
In your comment. And you'll be entered for. So this is one pack up we'll be giving away. Isn't that so nice of them? And then in the second one, this is for the blue one, Gussie Bag. There will be 3 skeins of yarn in here, which were all donated by Whimsy Stitches, because we thought this could be like a good little project together. So you have 2 skeins of the Mardi Gras Mambo on the 4-ply fingering yarn, 70% superwash merino, 30 nylon, and then 1 skein of Faded Violet. And then you will also be getting a set of stitch markers from Twin Mountain Handcrafts, and these are so cute because they're really different types of moths.
Yeah.
Oh, let me turn them around because these are on the rose gold. All right, so these are the rose gold ones. These are just a bunch of different moths.
And yeah, there's like a dragonfly in there. There's a scarab. They're not all moths. They're all different bugs.
I thought she said
they're different bugs. They're bugs.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I thought she said they were all moths.
No, they're bugs. Because there's a scarab beetle. There's a dragonfly.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. So this will be the second winner. So we will pull that. You know what? We're going to let it go until not next week, the following episode.
Okay.
Just because the 1 week is a short amount of time.
Yeah.
So let that go a little bit longer.
So we'll pick winners, but only from this video.
Yes.
So only from this video.
Let's see. So while we were there too, I'm just going to cover some stuff that was given to us.
Yeah.
In addition to what we've showed you, and this will be for some future giveaways, Rick over at Whimsy Stitches was also kind enough to allow us to pick another bag for a giveaway. So I thought the camper bag was really cute with the bears.
Yes.
So we will add this to our giveaway bin.
And we also have 2 additional stitch marker sets that were given to us, or given to all you, from Twin Mountain Handcrafts. This one are some more of the succulents and little plants, which is really, really cute.
And then this is the Yogi sloths.
Yes, like in like that rainbow...
Iridescent.
So we'll put these together as a future pack-up.
Yes.
So thank you. That was really, really nice.
And then the last thing that we received as a gift... Oh, no.
No.
Was Oh, wait. We were able to... Jay was super kind and allowed us to pick out bags for ourselves. So this is the first time I saw him do solids. So I picked up this like burnt orange bag. And it's a new design compared to what we have of his previously.
Yeah.
But a nice deep tote.
Yeah. I got the green one.
Yeah, yours is like... This is like a lemongrass. It's coming across to me. It looks a little
golden.
more brown.
Oh,
but it's more of like a lemongrass green.
Yeah. It's really pretty. Okay. And then that was that.
And then I just have my purchases.
Okay. Same.
And so let's talk about these two things before we talk about purchases.
Okay. So we met a friend, our best friend, apparently, though we hadn't ever met before. All of a sudden we hear, Kevin and Ray, and there was a very I can't... Oh, shoot. What's her name?
I'll find it. I thought you had said you took a...
I did.
Screenshot of Instagram so we could remember because we both forgot. Well...
Oh, wait. I'm looking in the wrong section. We see it's so difficult sometimes.
Melinda.
Yeah, isn't it Melinda?
Yeah.
I can't...
I think so.
I took so many pictures I can't find...
Yes. Yes, it was Melinda.
Okay, perfect. So, our friend Melinda, best friend now, here she is. Hi! She was so kind. She ended up giving us a really cute crochet andarna that she crocheted for us.
Yes.
And
for those of you who don't know, our andarna is one of the dragons from the Fourth Wing series by Rebecca Yaros. And when we first meet Andarna, she's golden.
Yes. And so when we were talking, one of the people that she was with was like, "Did you see her t-shirt?" We're like, "No." So she turned around and she had this on the back of her t-shirt. It says, "Have you seen Kevin and Ray?"
And it was so
it's a cute story.
So it was like if we were behind her and she hadn't ran into us, we would see that and like tap her on the shoulder and be like, "Hey,
yeah,
what's up, best friend?"
Right. So thank you. It was lovely to meet you. It was lovely. Really appreciate that.
And anybody who stopped us and chatted with us, it's always fun. It's always humbling to go to these events and to get to chat with everybody and hear your stories. And we, bumped into people who had just found us recently, and some people who've been watching us from episode 1. And that's 5 years of podcast, so that's a lot of stuff.
It's a lot of stuff.
So thank you.
So one of the vendors there, and this had come to us a long time ago, and we just kept like forgetting to show it, and it just ended up in like, the side.
So we're gonna include one of these in each of them.
I was gonna say these are probably gonna end up in some of the giveaways too. So there's a company called Cheney P's Corner. They make really fun knitting, crafty style enamel pins. And so a while back, we got sent a nice sampling of them. And they were actually at Nashfest. And one of... Oh, gosh. I'm so bad with names. Somebody had asked, whoever was there had asked, like, "Oh, I sent you guys these pins a while ago, and I don't know if you got them yet or whatever." I'm like, "Oh my God," because they looked so familiar. And so I thought it was just funny. Anyway, I came right home and I had to find these pins. So here's a few of them.
Here's a picture at the booth.
Yes.
And it was Tiffany. Tiffany had stopped us.
Thank you.
So Tiffany is friends with the owner.
You're so good with names.
Cheney of Cheney
P's
Corner. Mm-hmm. So Tiffany stopped us and was like, "Hey, I sent these to you." So we got to chat and what?
Yeah. Anyway.
Yes.
So found them. Here they are. So this one is Yarn Party. So this enamel pin looks like party balloons.
We got Pima Podcast.
Yep. My Heart Burns for Yarn. Really cute.
LYS Lover.
This is one of my favorites. Thank you for being a yarn fiber friend. Thank you for being a friend.
You can survive anything with yarn.
And then Yarn Chicken.
So I'm going to throw into the blue bag, you can survive anything with yarn.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to throw in Yarn Party.
And then we can keep these for future.
Yeah. Well, I
giveaways.
want to keep one.
Yeah, I'm going to keep
but
one.
That's okay. I have to pee, so we have to wrap this up soon.
Okay. So.
Okay, next So our purchases.
Why don't I go through mine and then you go through yours?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So my first purchase came from Cesium Yarn. I've already spun this. It is right here, but it's spun with something else. This was a combo
such
spin.
a good spin.
But I wanted to see what this would look like by itself. This is on their Shiniko top fiber and is 100%. Oh, this is different. This is 100% superwash Shiniko top. And this is the colorway Fork in the Road, which I love this colorway. And this I'm going to try to spin fingering weight so I could use it in my... Oh, I didn't say this. I want to do a hand spun Vertices Unite. So this is going to be fingering weight.
I thought you were keeping it a secret or something, the way that you didn't say it earlier.
No,
That's
I forgot
why I didn't
to
push
say that. I want to do a hand spun Vertices Unite, and I want this to be one of the colors.
Perfect.
So that was that. And then somebody stopped us right when we walked in. We were at one of the trucks. And they showed me this purchase that they made. It was from Ex Libris Fibers. And it's called the Dark Alchemy Mini Set. And this is based on A Discovery of Witches, Blood Rage, October 31st, 1590, Green Lion, Time Walker, and Ashmole 782. So I could not...
That's when she first...
This is the first book.
Yeah, that's the last page in the first book. That's when she time walked.
Yeah.
To that was October 31st.
So I'm going to go Blood Rage. Actually, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. We don't.
But yes, so I got this mini set, and this is 70% superwash merino, 20% yak, and 10% nylon.
It was the last one there.
Yeah, and then this
was meant to be.
While we were chatting with Adela and we were at the Lolo Bean booth, I saw this color out of the corner of my eye and wanted to get it, but this is not a Lolo Bean yarn.
No.
This is from Serendipitous Wool. This is called Graffiti Origins, and this is on 100% superwash merino.
It's really pretty.
So it's a very light gray with some dark grays.
Yeah.
You got purples and blues and yellows.
It's very round. Like the yarn is very round.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be nice.
So I get these just, to have something for a hat.
Mm-hmm.
And then my last purchase came from Shayla of Black Pearl Magic. This was... I love the way this felt.
I know.
Which was really
nice.
weird.
Yeah.
But what I think I'm going to use this for, so this is one of her... Shayla's known for her plastic bags and her fun zippers. And it's a really sturdy zipper. I'm going to put a lot of my spinning stuff in here.
That's a great
idea. I'm
idea.
taking that from Michael, because Michael has a little box with a bunch of his
Yeah.
spinning. So I'm going to use this for all my little
bips and
whips
bobs.
and my orifice hook and all that stuff. And ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got at Nash Yarn Fest.
I only got two things that I purchased. The first one was actually the first place that we went to. It was
reserved.
in Yarnbird's yarn truck.
Yes.
And they had... The truck is beautiful inside. It was very, very, very beautiful. So they had these little 50-gram... Well, these sock sets, I guess. This is Echoes by Gusto Wool. I'd never heard of this company before. They're $250. Oh, it's Earth Yarns. Oh, I've heard of Earth Yarns before. Anyway, I thought it was very affordable. So you get two 50-gram balls, and I think they're 50-gram balls, 50-gram skeins.
I was going to say
440 yards. Yeah, 100 grams. So split up into two 50-gram sections for $20. I thought that was a really
That's really
price.
good for a fingering weight.
Yeah, and I love the colors.
Yeah, it reminds me very lion-y.
Yeah. Yeah. So I purchased that. Thought that was really cool. I was like, I'm going to get it. And then the last thing that I got was also from Shayla. There were two, and I actually wish I had gotten the second one as well. There were two of these style bags, which are newish to her. They're these cute little snap bags. with the snap instead of the zipper, which I thought was great because you don't have to worry about snagging your yarn. There's a little bit of, there's the hook over here, which I thought would be cute to like attach to your belt or whatever and knit out of it while you're walking and not have to worry about pulling the yarn out of it. I do have a project in here that I can't show until next time, but I loved the Converse sneakers.
Yeah, I thought
right?
Between the two, I thought the Converse would be cool because you would typically have socks in there, so it kind of made sense.
Yes. But the second one that I saw that I loved had smiley faces on it. And I kind of want both. Maybe I'll take a look and see if she has those smiley faces.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah.
And ladies and gents, that's what we bought at Nash. I think that's the least amount of stuff we've purchased at a yarn festival ever.
I agree. Black Pearl. Oh, she closed down her shop
while she's
out and about.
So that is everything.
That is that.
That has been our last
3 weeks.
Thanks for
hanging out with us.
Yeah, it's actually, we did pretty damn good. 2 hours and 10 minutes. That's not a lot for us.
Next week's episode is going to be a half an hour.
I know. So we thank you guys for joining us. We hope that you guys have a good week.
Yeah.
And we will see you next time.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.